Okay. 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. Ding dong. 4 o'clock. I just got in. I was an hour away, everybody. I just got in. So, but I made it. I made it. Anyway, got into look at some weird footage real quick. It's been a very busy day. I promise I'll have more little clippy things tomorrow because God knows there's a million to draw from. Okay, so here it is, 4 o'clock, and hello, everybody. Hello, hello, and welcome to Sunlight on. Yes, chaos. Isn't it chaos? I came up with this title a while ago, and man, is it apropos today as it is maybe for the next 2 or 3 years. I have my chat up, so anybody chat me at any moment. Make this thing work. And I'm Steve Olivieri, and I'm here. I'm back where I need to be. Also, please, if you have any thoughts going forward, please email me 24/7 anytime to Steven at sunlightonchaos.com. Again, that's Steven with a V, Steven at sunlightonchaos.com. Those emails will get right over to me. It works. I bought it with my own money and a little help from some other people. I'm also doing a part-time job so I can keep this thing going. Isn't that how these podcasts work? Unless you're independently wealthy. Good for those people. I bring you a perspective from the ground up. So it's not a funny day. It's just gets weirder and weirder all the time, right? Weirder and weirder. So I'm going to back up a little bit to this whole thing that started. And I knew this boat thing, this cargo boat thing was going to become an issue. I swear to God, I knew this was going to happen. And now here it is. It's happening. So I'm just going to jump in. Where do you jump in? Probably like where the bombs jumped in on the boats, the cargo boats in the Caribbean. So this whole boat bombing thing. All right. So they bring up this phrase. I think, see, my show gets to things that other people don't say on other shows. And I'm also going to talk about 2 new segments that I'm going to deal with today that other shows don't really do because they're sort of constricted with the FCC. Not just about cursing, but about ways to stretch the rubber bands. Of course, they're trying to get at the issues, but they're also, the corporate heads try to, keep them a little, tamed, and, hemmed in, if you will. Not me, but if anybody knows anybody at CNN or MSNBC, please let me know because I would like to get them up to speed. That is going to be spoken about when I get into this new segment I want to talk about called Mark My Words. Mark My Words. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, the bombing of these alleged cargo boats. They looked like they had some cargo, something on them. I mean, they didn't just look, it's hard to tell, right? Obviously the military has all of the fine grain, the fine tooth, the 4D cameras, that just really, intricate. They're giving us sort of the blurry version. Looks like there's boxes of stuff on there, but I'm going to say this off the bat and keep moving though. Can it all be AI? Now AI is getting so fast that you can do anything with AI. So I hate to put out these spooky things, but we're getting into the land of AI with president that is coming off the rails, off the tracks. So I knew this. Mark my words again on this coming up, but I knew this was going to happen. This sort of this phrase that they use. And everything, the press secretary, everything. This all complies with the laws of war. Okay, well, she forgot something. She's so busting out with how hip she is and how capable she is, doing her press releases with everybody and just barreling through everybody. But oh my God, I just blanked on her name. Levitt, Caroline Levitt. I just got home, guys. Sorry, I just got off the highway. So she's all missy. She's like the prom queen gone bizarre. So she said, oh, and everything with Hex South or Trump or this or that and the other, and the lower guy down below all complies with the laws of war. Guess what? Guess what she and everyone else is forgetting to talk about? And she just stuck her foot in it. Complying with the laws of war implies that we're in a war. Okay. So there's one thing about complying with trying to get in to know if there's drugs on board of a ship where you capture some people and go in with the Coast Guard and get the drugs before they sink to the bottom of the ocean, and you get some of the people, or you, even if they're bombed up into pieces, you get their fragments. I know this is tough, but you get the fragments of the bodies, you get DNA. Okay, let's start seeing some cargo and DNA. And the thing I said yesterday, and I'll say it again, is this could all be done in one single drone shot. Because you know they have the best drones in the world that they could fly anywhere with cameras, all kinds of multiple cameras on one drone. And so you can go right in and zoom right in for close-ups right after they bomb the boats. See, just where's the zoom shots, guys? Not just blow it up and keep moving. I understand that some of these cameras are on the airplanes and so on and so forth. Doesn't matter. You know you can have the Coast Guard and all those other ships that are there right now. Any of them can go in quickly, and they can launch all their drones and just hover in. You know, think James Cameron on the Titanic, anything. You can go in with 10, 20 cameras and get all these angles of everything. So it just goes to show that they're not showing us the best they can do, because we know they can do as good as movies. And movies obviously have helped the government before. We know all of this, and they're not doing it. You know, because it stinks, you know, the head of the fish, it stinks from the head down, rather. And that's what's going on. So I was starting, it's Tuesday, it's only Tuesday, right? It's only Tuesday. I was starting yesterday with this segment, or a whole idea, bit of a new partial format here, that I was titling The Good, the Bad, and the Stupid. So you know the old title, Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Okay, well, bad is bad, ugly is bad. Sometimes ugly can be good, oddly. But the good, the bad, and the stupid. Stupid is just stupid. Bad can actually be clever. But now what we're dealing with, it's not just the good, the bad, and the stupid. And I was also talking yesterday about morality. Okay, I think it takes so many gears to shift and keep going with this madman that we now have in the highest office. Today, I'm not going to talk about morality so much as sanity. Okay, because there's something really getting bad. And we're only at the beginning of December here, everybody. So by the end of the month, we're going to get answers to some degree, maybe, about maybe extending the healthcare subsidies for a year or 2 or 3, hopefully, while the Republicans, once again, after 50 or 70 times, maybe can try to expand on the ACA, Affordable Care Act. You don't have to call it Obama if you're racist. And I can say that real quick. I don't have to look in CNN and go, ooh, should I have said that? No, come on. They hate it. One of the reasons. To what percentage? You pick. But one is that they called it Obamacare. So all the old white men in, the House and Senate, they're prejudiced. They're still prejudiced. They always were. They still are right now in real time. They don't want Obamacare. They want white care. They want old man white care, and they can't figure it out. But anyway, back to sanity. It's getting bad. So I've been constantly trying to think of ways to get around. How do I get at this guy? Okay, he's full of shit every single freaking day. Every day he's full of crap. Okay, and pardon me, I'm just looking at something down here. But it's splintering. It's splintering. The morality splintered on that first, that bus little trip he took at grabbing women by their privates. But the morality is splitting like really hard, really fast, Like yesterday, I think, just little tidbits that slip by if you don't try to pick up the news. You know, when I'm out trying to make some money, I have to come home at night and watch the late night news, start picking that up, look at the AP, look at the wires. And then I get up really early in the morning, watch some like Morning Joe and flip back and forth to CNN, try to suck up some Fox for a few minutes. I definitely go over to the Fox when they're trying to listen to him because CNN and MSNBC sort of turn him off when he starts sounding crazy. But I'm going to play a clip from good old Nicole Wallace on Deadline White House. I think this is from today. Remember, I just got home. She goes around. I'll cut it off in a minute, you know, when I'm ready to cut it off. But she takes a little inventory of the crazy. So there's the good, the bad, and the stupid, and the immoral, and now the crazy. So it's morality now drifting into sanity or insanity. So let's see what she's got over here. I listened to some of this. Let's let her take this away for a second. And oh, look at me. I have to move over. Isn't that funny? Bear with. Just gotta. I wonder if you could see what I can see, because I'm moving this camera over to so I can go over here. Okay, let's give this a shot. Okay, we'll get rid of this in a minute.
Over the course of 5 hours late last night, 79-year-old Donald Trump posted online more than 150 times publicly. Daily Beast explains that in a lot of those posts, Donald Trump targeted his usual perceived enemies, people like Governor Gavin Newsom, former Speaker Nancy Pelosi,
I do cut in here because even reading this, Donald Trump posts once a minute an unhinged late night spree. Now, we have to understand, see, this is also where I have a dislike, you know, even with CNN and MSNBC, who I love. I try to watch everything else, you know, and I watch all the late night comics and everything. And the AP and Reuters and all of that. I'm trying to read and take in everything I can, as much as I can, everybody. But just because he's posting once a minute, yes, it might be unhinged sounding. I don't know if it's not really looking because we're just reading it. I mean, he definitely looks like I think he got a haircut. He was getting all long and weird in the past few days, but over the weekend and maybe Thanksgiving, he forgot to think about a haircut, but I think he got one. Sorry, I digress, but I want to get back to the written word here. You know, on your text and on your desktop or tablet or whatever, you can click on that little bing, you know, the little voice button, and you can speak into a text, and you can have this really long text, right? And or on your home computer, like when I do emails now, I'm starting to blow through them, I'm starting to talk through them, then I stop and I go back and I edit them and just make sure they're all correct. Now you got to think, all he's doing, you know, his people are all standing by with their cell phones on dictation, you know, probably mostly through phones, unless he's in front of a desktop. Or they're pulling his words over to their phone. So he could just literally sit up like this, you know, and just go, yeah, whatever, it's a long day, it's a Monday, I had too much turkey. So he can go on and make these things look really long, and he could sit up for 3 hours and stop and then start again. The problem is that it is unhinged. That's the problem. You know what I mean? That's the problem. So let's let her rip a little bit here.
Former presidents Barack Obama and Joe Biden, former director of the FBI Jim Comey. He called some of those former elected officials and government workers traitors. Again, he complimented guests who had appeared on Fox News in close correspondence to the time that he posted. Trump also repeated or reposted a lot of things, a lot of the usual right-wing MAGA content, boosted it with his retweets. He shared some videos of himself. In one of them, he insults a female journalist, and another one includes footage of his little cameo in the film Home Alone 2.
All right, can we get desperate? Okay, short of saying that Tim Waltz is retarded, he has to go to these reposting things, and he has to go back to, the fat ass has to go back to his stupid little, what did it take him to walk on the set? Get a little makeup, touch up, a little orange all over for an hour, like in 1991, I think she says. to do his one stupid cameo. Like, it'd be one thing if he was in 10 movies. Hey, look at Ronald Reagan, right? Um, he did a lot. Of course, Bedtime for Bonzo. Hey, all right, little Bonzo-matic. So we got Bonzo here, and let's let Nicole talk.
From the year 1992.
92.
At one point last night, Donald Trump was firing off more than one post a minute. I want to bring in MS Now senior White House reporter Vaughn Hilliard. So Vaughn, if any public figure
let him wrap this up.
in the world of sports did that, there would be, you could imagine ESPN or Bill Simmons asking about their state of mind or what was going on in their life. When Kanye West does that, we usually get some sort of reporting out or reaction from the mother of the children he shares, Kim Kardashian. I mean, this is bananas, off-the-wall stuff, the rate of posting. How is...
Okay, so she's very pleasant about it, and she's saying, like, this is bananas. Okay, this is... He's going off... It's like in December now. Remember our dates here. Tuesday, December 2nd, he's starting to really go off the rails. That's what she's getting at. It's just coming so far and fast. I can't believe his people can't even pull him in and throw him in the fucking back room. Well, they don't have an east room to drag him off to. Just put him in the bathroom in the West Wing somewhere.
How is Donald Trump doing?
Not good.
I think it's a good point you made. I mean, Lane Kiffin tweets a couple times a day, and the amount of scrutiny that each of those tweets get is much more than the 160-plus posts over the course of those 3 hours last night. And I think when you're talking about 160 posts, you pulled out a few examples. Another one, him claiming that Michelle Obama used the auto pen at the end of the Biden administration. Wow. He also posted this idea that Elon Musk helped thwart the 2024 election from being stolen because Musk, quote, tracked down the IP addresses of the Dominion office in Serbia and rendered their computers useless days before the election. He also then went on to suggest in a post there that he reposted that there would be a military tribunal for Barack Obama. When you asked what the state of the...
Guys, sorry, I was just completely unloading and I noticed my effing volume was off. Something happened yesterday. This is what happens when you walk in 2 minutes before going live. So sorry, guys. Anyway, I've been leading up to all of this about the good, the bad, and the stupid. You may not have even heard. I'm sorry. Hope you haven't clicked off in frustration, but I'm back. There was a weird thing on the mixing board. Sorry, guys. Let me let Vaughn Hilliard finish up here. I'm back. I'm back with you guys. Sorry. We'll get right back in this whole morality versus sanity thing that I was talking about. You might have heard it really low, but I think we're up to volume right now. Damn it, I got into the studio too quick here. All right.
The President of the United States is, I think it's important, the context that just 4 minutes ago, Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff wrapped up a nearly 5-hour-long meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow.
Okay, I'm going to cut it now that you can hear me. Oh, God, sorry. Hope we didn't lose too much. Might have been really soft in the beginning. God damn it. Witkoff and Jared Kushner. These are like the last guys you really want in the room. Okay, because, and really, I mean, what happened to the nice guy, Marco Rubio, Sorry, I'm moving around here. It's sort of like, what happened to Marco Rubio? It's just a fair question. They should have him there. These guys are there because of money. They are there because of money, and that's all there is to it. This is a really, really big, dark problem. They want to get into bed with fucking Russia, okay? And Ukraine, I hope they don't take the hit for this because... they need an Article 5 provision that should be Article 5, not a near 5. A near Article 5 provision? No. So, anyway, somebody chat me. Let me know if the volume's back up. I think it is. I see my monitors going. Let's let poor Vaughn finish out, and we'll chat a little more. Okay? Go ahead.
Moscow, but we haven't heard the President of the United States get into the details about any terms of a negotiated peace plan between Ukraine and Russia, essentially leaving it to cabinet members to go forward with those negotiations. All at the same time that this morning his press secretary in the White House, that they promoted this New York Post story that the president is working 12-hour days according to White House logs,
Yeah,
and
right.
that he is keeping a busy schedule despite what others in the media are suggesting. There was a 2-hour-long cabinet meeting today, and it was a 2-hour-long cabinet meeting, but the cameras did catch his eye.
Might be 12 hours because he's up for 3 hours in the middle of the night like some crazy person at this point. You know, let's see if he does 7 hours during the day roughly, or stumbles around. Give him another 2, add 3 for the insane post. Then you get 12 hours, I guess. You know, stumbling through the day.
Eyes drifting downward every so often there.
I think we have
this
that.
is a moment here for
There
the
it
White
is.
House for that. Yeah,
he's tired.
for the scrutiny around the Post in his.
You know, I'm not sure how long a reason there would be to even let this keep going, because you know, frankly, we can see what's happening with him, and you know, I'll just quickly repeat what I said at the beginning, because I'm sure you're all freaking out the first 10 minutes here when my volume was so low. Ooh, that's irritating. At least I caught it, right? Somebody chat me, tell me I caught it. In any event, so morality versus sanity, calling Tim Walz retarded, complying with the laws of war. We're not in a war, are we? Did Trump say we're in a war with Venezuela? Did Congress declare an act of war? I don't think so. So there's nothing to comply with. This is like a rodeo. Go out into the ocean and bomb some boats. Don't bring back cargo. Don't bring back DNA. And even if they bring, okay, maybe they could do AI and fake cargo. Like, oh, look at all these pallets of cocaine. But the DNA, if they brought back they could have brought back 2 live humans and interrogated the crap out of them with due process. But no, let's just keep bombing. And I heard today that they bombed that boat in question 4 times. 4 times. So let's really blow the crap out of everything and let it all sink to the bottom of the ocean. Let's make sure there's no cargo to look at. Why not? Let's make sure there's no DNA. Why not? Let's make sure there's no Coast Guard or other vessels nearby, because they have it so intricate. The bomb it wasn't a nuclear explosion that went for a mile or 2. You could see it was a pretty controlled bomb or missile strike. So those boats only need to be like minutes away, if even less than that, to go zip and tear over and grab stuff. And then show us what you got, guys. Show us what you're doing. So no Congress. The guy's on a tirade. He's losing his mind. This is December. Okay, there he is. All right, there he is. Half in the bag. All right. Oh, so many things. Oh, you've settled so many wars. Number 1, you haven't. And Gaza is still literally on pins and needles. That's not solved, Trumpy. That's not solved. So, and these other ones I went through like last week, I can go through them again. But with my format of the good, the bad, and the stupid, I have to add the good, the bad, the stupid, the immoral. But really, it's the good, the bad, and the insane. Because you can have very good people that are sane. Well, you can have good people that are insane. You can have bad people that are insane. And then you can have, that would be bad, insane, bad people. I had a sister who was I don't want to get into it, but she had some mental deficiencies. Loved her very much. Saw her right to the end of her existence here. She was a very good person with mental deficiencies. And she was like a concert pianist. Unbelievable. She was a fine artist. Unbelievable. She was smart as a friggin' whip. But she would be playing, even at a younger age, she would be playing at a little concerto or concert or with her students or whatever it was that was put together in front of like 100 people, a showcase type of thing. And if she would be playing a Rachmaninoff, a long stretch, like a really long pass. And if she got one wrong note in it, think the movie Shine with Jeffrey Rush, and she got one wrong note, she would run out of the room. Now, Trump doesn't run out of the room. He, the malicious bitch that he is, he will get sleepy. And then that will lead into these waking up at midnight for 3 hours, going haywire, like a madman going haywire. So it's sort of like we have in December of 25 here, 2025, we have a madman. And I will say, mark my words, and this is the segment I want to put in for the rest of this week called Mark My Words. Because what I've been able to do, I don't know how this happens, but as I pull things together from previous days and weeks, I compile them in my mind's structure and like sort of like a chess board or anything, just, bricks like building up, and building an image of what's maybe going to come down, maybe some prescience, if you will. But I've noticed some things, whether it's not so much minutes, but maybe even days before CNN or MSNBC comes out and starts nabbing stuff, because I just see it coming. And I don't know. I really need to get on their boards and say, guys, this is going to come. This is what your news is going to look like tomorrow. And this is where the general news is going to go next in the following week. And then there's months and years and decades. But in this December is going to get really dark. It's going to be a weird Christmas for him. We have to have nice Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, and we have to make these things really nice for ourselves and for our families and loved ones, because he's just going to blob through it. So we're not even in January of 26. We're in the deep, I was going to say the depths of December, but the depths of 25, in the cold winds of December moving in. And we probably can't even get out of December without something incredibly hairy happening. So we have to buckle up. So everybody, let's buckle up and not get too upset when he comes up with stupid shit, because now he's at a point, it's like a litmus test, or, when water rises, or starts boiling over the top of a pot, where now it's starting to bubble over. Okay. And now we are dealing with somebody who is, if he wasn't, I don't know, crazy before, he's just coming off, hey, at 80, dementia can set in really wild ways. We know that, anybody who has relatives, etc., it can come out of left field and it starts building and building. It doesn't hopefully let's find the cure for it. Unless asshole and RFK want to just shut everything down. Oh, let's take all the funding from, Alzheimer's. Let's just kill it. Great. So how about not? So we're going to watch him stumble through December, but next year, they are starting to say that some of the Republicans they're going to start to resign. They're going to look, they're going to say, where am I going to be at the midterms? And they're going to start jumping ship. So that's not just my thought. I agree with it. And I know it's going to start coming. And we'll see if we can even get to the midterms without needing to work in a way to take the House and the Senate. Maybe they'll start jumping ship so much that we'll just get the House and the Senate before the midterms and then really run a supermajority. That's the thing. Shall I say, mark my words, with any luck, we get the supermajority in the House and Senate, because as we know, then it becomes the supermajority in the House and the Senate, sort of like what happened, this last vote. Did Donald Trump signed to get out of the shutdown. Okay, yeah, look at it. I mean, he had that, it was like a virtual, 100% except for the one, representative that bailed just because he's a weird guy. But that's whatever, one guy out of 400, over 400 people. So, but there are going to be votes. There's maybe a new discharge on the healthcare subsidies in the next 12, 11 days that they're running out of time now before the holidays. And then all of a sudden it's Spikesville on January 1st. Here we come. But, you want to call any of these Republican assholes up, and there are good ones, good representatives and good senators, but I mean, a couple of Republicans here and there. But there's, maybe they'll go the Marjorie direction, Taylor Greene direction. They're going to go and they're going to look and they're going to see how many terms have I put in? And maybe I should just look at my wife and kids and grandkids and get the hell out of here. Give up on this fat ass orangutan. So forget the defunding of PBS and NPR, and now they're freaking out, trying to make up for it. Forget not going to the climate accord this year. Yes, ICE is going crazy. Yes, Ukraine is in peril. And, mark my words, like a lot of people are still saying, let's not forget. There's just so many things you can bring into one show. Like, I feel bad for all these people, anybody, Rachel Maddow or Lawrence O'Donnell or anybody, everybody on CNN, you only have so much time, but let's not forget about the discharge petition I just alluded to for the Epstein files. That's going to come up. So that's going to make him look like the dirty piece of shit that he is. So he's just going to be a mess. And here I'm thinking, how do I make this guy miserable for the next year, and then 2 years after that, and then after that? But he's now starting to make himself so miserable that now we have to reverse engineer things from, let's say, an intelligence point of view and Democrat point of view, because we now have to deal with somebody who's losing their mind. And I don't know how else to say that. I know I've been keeping the shows a little short because I've been busy. Well, it's only yesterday and today. I'll make them longer tomorrow if need be. But let's just take a really brief look at this other clip. Bear with me, and let's just see if we can glean anything from this next clip.
Welcome to the NewsHour. It was the first attack in the Trump administration's new campaign in the Caribbean, and it has become the most contentious. A U.S. official tells the PBS NewsHour tonight the U.S. military struck an alleged drug boat 4 times on September 2nd. And today, President Trump and Secretary Pete Hegseth defended the attack, but also distanced themselves from the follow-on strike that targeted.
Okay, you can't defend, yourself. See, they keep contradicting themselves, and I keep wanting to throw a brick somewhere against the wall, I guess. Can't lose the TV. I gotta stay with Mr. TV over there. You can't have it both ways, guys. You can't. All right. So, in any event, you can't distance yourself and then put heat on stuff. So they keep just walking into it's basically turning into quicksand. So we can laugh and haha, but now it's like, wait a second. These people have their fingers, their paws, their hands, their feet on the pedals and gears and of the government. So, okay, you thought Joe Biden was getting a little tired? Yeah, horrible debate. At that moment when he had that bad debate last year, I said, oh no, this is it. I said, we're dead. And I knew it. I said to my friend, you know who you are. I said, mark my words, M, this is going to get bad. And then we got him as president. And now we have to watch him devolve into a really bad place. And the most important thing is to really watch out for dangerous things. So we have to keep our congressmen awake and watching, and they have to constantly go up against them. They're going to have to start taking multi-votes. They're going to have to, in January, get the hell back. Happy holidays. Yeah, Happy New Year. Guess what? Sit down and get stuff done. Get your committees rolling. Get stuff in place. Throw sand in the gears. Stop the craziness. Enough. So I think I've said my piece on that for today. But that's what mark my words. It's going to be psychology, psychosis management. Yes, is there JD Dopey Vance, crazy Vance, I should say. He's crazy too, unfortunately. Thompson, whatever. It's like from bad to worse. Well, no, it's from worse to worse. Bad to bad, you pick it. So anyway, guys, I will be back tomorrow, and I will promise to have my audio intact. And I was just looking at other things, and now I have it intact. So I won't let that happen again. But let's all keep our eye on the ball, and let's get through the holidays, because we have to. And, we're at least 150 million, closer to 200 million people that really now know what the problem is here. The MAGA base can shove it up their ass. They want to accept this kind of insanity. That means they are crazy, a good chunk of the MAGA base. But we can't lose sight of the crazy, right? Because that's what's going to be going on this next year, at least by the midterms, maybe before. If we could just shut all of these wildly stupid, horrible, dangerous, unproductive proposals, shut them down. You want to shut them down in the House and Senate, guys. So I'll leave it with that today. And like I said, send me email or anytime, Steven@sunlightonchaos.com. And thanks for watching. All right. See you tomorrow. Bye.